in from Tokyo. We're actually at the airport right now, waiting for our next flight out. We're gonna be headed to. We got a layover in Taiwan, and then we got one more connected flight to the Philippines. So, for those of you that aren't informed with everything that and the reason as to why we're going to the Philippines, now for the past 4 to 5 months, I've had assistance working with our company. Everything that I've been creating for you guys, putting together, I knew that I was gonna need help. Going out, really starting to propel with this social media movement that I've been creating here on YouTube, and really just getting people at the end of the day results. Everything's all organic. I don't run any paid ads. I don't invest a dime into the marketing, the advertisements, etc. Everything. That's why if you guys are new just or tuning in, I simply always ask that everybody drop a like if you guys are just coming into the video, because that's how the message spreads. That's how all of us collectively can move together in unison to overall get the same thing done, and that's moving and operating throughout this game of commerce debt free. And that's what I'm here to show you guys how to do. Not how to get out of debt. I'm not looking to just show you guys how to get out of debt, but how to get debt out of you guys. See, debt resides within each and every single one of us, and until and unless we know what steps to properly take, there's a lot of raw out there. There's a lot of fluff out there, but I'm here to show you guys exactly, because at the end of the day, consumer law, cleaning one's credit report, that's very minor. That's very minuscule compared to the moves that we're looking to make. When I talk about acquiring multifamily real estate, taking on investors, right? But in order to take on investors, and in order to have a community of people that can even invest or think about these types of investments, we got to be in a financial position to be able to do so. So I'm not here to show you guys how to get out of debt. If you guys are here to learn how to get out of debt, simply just tune into another video. But I'm here to show you guys how to get debt out of you guys, because debt and credit, it's all spiritual. Credit is life, debt is death. If you guys have never heard that, well, I'm going to be the first to tell you guys that debt is death and credit is life. So we're tuning in right now. Let me show you guys the views. We're actually in Japan right now at the airport, Haneda Airport, right? Very, very far away from many of you guys, probably, I'm sure. If you guys are just tuning in, let's continue to get the likes up. If you guys find anything insightful, have any questions throughout this, need some clarity on anything, simply just drop it down below in the comment section. I'm going to show you guys, as the title is stated, how to remove an auto loan from one's report, how to get an auto loan for free, right? A lot of you guys have auto loans. A lot of you guys are looking to get an auto loan, but maybe don't have the capital on hand. But the thing is, all of us have something called a credit card, and I want you all to go look right now at 15 U.S.C. 1602, right here at 15 U.S.C. 1602. And I'm going to do this here with you guys. I'm going to go over a couple different letters with you guys as well. So we got some time here at the airport while we're waiting for our next flight. So I'm going to be here really giving you guys game. So if you guys do have questions throughout this live, let's make sure to drop down below in the chat box in the comments. We got more than enough time here at the airport. All right. So we come here to 15 U.S.C. 1602. This is what it's going to look like. Let me lower this brightness. Right, and we scroll down, right? This is the Truth in Lending's definition section. Now we come down here, and there's something that they define as a credit card. Before we define the term credit card, though, I want you guys to put some awareness towards a couple terms. Right, we see the term organization, we see the term person, we see the term credit, we see the term creditor. So before credit card, there's a creditor. There's definitely got to be credit. Before the term creditor is defined, we do define credit, because in order for there to be credit or a creditor, there's first got to be credit. That's got to arise. Then we go on to the term. Where are we at? Credit card. Beautiful. So this is going to be 15 U.S.C. 1602 L. And it states the term credit card means any plate, means any card, plate, coupon book. So what's a card? Any card, let's see, your guys's, passport card, your guys's license, your, any plate, your license plate. You know, a lot of people get caught up or confused on the coupon book. What do you mean by a coupon book? See, what I want you guys to understand is by the term coupon book, they're referring to the food stamp book, where, back in the day, where a lot of people, with their food stamp book would have their social on there as well too. So a lot of people are uninformed on that as well too. But the term your credit card. So anytime you guys go into any consumer credit transaction, they're always running your guys' credit card. That's what I want to make very clear. Your credit card is your social security number, your social security card. The social security card was granted, it was given to us at birth by whom? The United States Inc. The United States Inc. is a corporation, a foreign corporation, which in order to do business within this commercial spaces, and in order to play within the game of commerce, I like to call it, we got to have, a credit card to be able to do so. Now, with that being said, from me, being the organization that we are, a natural person or an organization, and the organization is acting in suitorship, acting in jointer, right, of the organization. The organization is the card holder of this credit card. And I want you guys to go look up the term card holder as well too. This is also defined under Truth in Lending in 15 U.S.C. 1602. Let me not talk over this. If you guys are just tuning in, family, we're here right now at the airport in Tokyo. All right, we're here right now in Tokyo.
Manila will be closed in a few minutes. We kindly ask those passengers who have not yet checked in for this flight to proceed to ANA check-in counter immediately. Thank you.
Okay. So the term accepted credit card is also a credit card. It means any credit card which the cardholder has requested and received or has signed or has used or authorized another to use for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, or services on credit. We have the term card holder, and then we have the term card issuer. These are key terms we do want to know. We're not going to dive too heavy into those today, as I specifically want to show you guys how to get rid of auto loans on today's call. So now that we understand the credit card and the credit card was ran, we also have something called an open-ended credit plan. Right, this is 15 U.S.C. 1602J, and the open-ended credit card or credit plan really explains how everything is credited. How, from the beginning of the transaction, they've received, the finance charge. The finance charge is the sum of all charges. That's the total payments. See, that's what a lot of people get caught up on paying month to month, is the finance charge, when if we break down the contracts and the agreements, the finance charge has already been, financed. It's already been credited. The moment that they got access to this credit card also has an open-ended credit plan. It's open-ended, meaning there's no end to it. It's infinite. So we have the ability to contract and to credit every single corporation in which we do contract. So therefore, yes, we did get our credit pulled. We did go through the transaction, and they were credited. They got the money instantly. I've been to Canada, nowhere else. Yeah, by the way, we're in Tokyo right now. Let me show you guys the airport. Flip it for y'all. So y'all can see. We're just right here waiting for my stuff. Let me give you guys a little look. Put my shoes on. I'll give you guys a quick look around the airport. But now when it comes to auto loans, and Michael, you're going through this right now, so this is going to be a great call for you. Really wanted to help touch up on a couple things to help give you some clarity on some things that you could even do on your end to help speed up the process and just put these dealerships and all these companies on notice, but not even just notice, but let them know we're not just looking for deletion, we're looking to get remedy as well too. I need a vehicle and just got turned down. Yes, so we're here right now in Tokyo at the airport. Just wanted to briefly show you guys. So a lot of people in need of that auto loan. So let's Let's bring clarity now. All right, family. So yes, it's great to know these terms. A lot of people are like, okay, now what do I state to them? What do I tell them? What letter do I got to send out to them? All right, so I'm gonna read to you guys first and foremost. I'm gonna read to you guys especially what I'm putting them on notice with right away with an affidavit. Let me pull up a couple different for you guys. Am I going through the same thing right now? Can you get it? Can you get used to? Can you use it to get off your SR22? I'm not sure what an SR22 is, right? So, how to get rid of any auto loan, right, off your guys' consumer report. I like to right away send them an affidavit of truth, an affidavit of fact to all that I am the consumer, in fact, the natural person, original creditor, lender, executor, administrator, holder in due course for any and all derivatives thereof to the surname/given name, and I am and have been appointed and accepted and accept being the executor, both public and private, for all matters proceeding. So do I need a status change? Do I need to, be a secure party creditor? No, I do not need to exercise and state exactly what I'm stating. You as a consumer, you as the natural person, have the ability to state everything I just stated. All right, that's off topic, but just for some clarity. And I hereby claim that I would DBA and autograph as the agent, attorney in fact, and so be it. Whereas I have age of majority, give this here in fact to all. I make solemn oath to the one and only Most High of creation, only whatsoever that may be, and I depose the following facts, so be it. Now present, it's a fact that the FDCPA and the Fair Credit Reporting Act is intended to secure my right to privacy, and my privacy has been breached, so be it. And it's a fact that, boom, then I like to go through and just state all the facts. If I'm using the FDCPA and FCRA, which within this one specifically, I'll mention, it's intended, those subchapters are intended to secure my right to privacy, and my privacy has been breached. Furthermore, you can use the Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act. I could throw that in there as well too. It's a fact that the FDCPA, Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act, and the FCRA is intended to secure my right to privacy. It talks about privacy within both the congressional findings of the FCRA, FDCPA, as well as the Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act. The Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act is a whole subchapter based around specifically protecting, one's privacy. And then we go on to continue to read fact. I am sure the removal of my information from your website, company records, or any and all derivatives thereof, and or with any affiliates will ensure my privacy rights won't be violated again due to my lack of consent in this herein unrebutted affidavit of truth being serviced to you today, and therefore standing as truth in commerce. So be it. And fact, please show good faith in this matter by expediting the securing of the alleged information listed on your site in order to avoid me receiving further injury, damages, mental anguish, and losses due to me being a victim of identity theft, and so be it. This fact is to confirm that your claim is disputed under 15 U.S.C. 1692 K. Please verify under oath that this claim is valid, free from any claims and defenses, including but not limited to any breach of agreement, failure of consideration, or material alterations, and that the original lender provided value. Further, that the alleged account was transferred in good faith and by the consent of all parties involved. All right, so we're having them in good faith, swear that everything has been transferred in good faith, that all of the steps, the procedures that they took were all in good faith, that they weren't in violation of the things that I'm about to state down below. Then count one, I list, boom, all of the FDCPA, violations. Boom, count two, all of the FCRA ones. Then I also mentioned mail fraud. I like to mention 18 USC 1341, frauds and swindles. And I mentioned how this affidavit, and these are all things you guys could type up word for word, verbatim, put it into ChatGPT, and have ChatGPT help draft you up an affidavit of facts. List all of the facts. What are the violations? The violations are all of the facts that are going to help you guys with getting these accounts deleted. Right? The facts are what's going to help you guys with, all of the violations. All of the violations are going to go on the affidavit of truth. The affidavit of truth is going to then be sent off to the creditors, any party that's involved. Right? The dealership, if the dealership was involved, the financial institution, if there's a financial institution, the consumer reporting agencies, if the consumer reporting agencies are furnishing this information. If you believe that there's an invasion upon your privacy that's been reported, that's being furnished, you could also send this out to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. All right, so these are affidavit of truth, right? These are what I'm sending directly via certified mail to the companies. These are the first letters that I'm sending to these companies. An affidavit of truth, right? Then I'm gonna go get that, notarized. Let's see. Insurance, the court make you get to keep your license. So if you read through the finance charge also does mention that insurance is included within the finance charge. So if you read 15 USC 1605, the finance charge, yes, is included. Insurance is, yes, included within the finance charge, which you guys can read that in 15 USC 1605. There's a notice that the FTC said it has to be in all consumer credit contracts, and I have not seen it in one of my contracts. Well, if the FTC has been stating that it's got to be within the contracts and they're not putting it in the contracts, then that right there is definitely a clear violation, of their procedure. And, if the FTC is telling you one thing and they're not abiding by it. The FTC is ultimately who regulates these corporations to make sure that they do stay in good faith, because it's very clear, and that's why since the 60s and 70s, these companies have been getting away with invading in our privacy, abusing us, harassing us, deceiving us, using unfair debt collection practices, misusing our credit. Are they reporting unfairly, and inaccurately? Right, this is all terminology that's simply within the congressional findings of the subchapters, that we teach here on this channel. If you guys are new to the channel, I appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in. Let's simply get the likes up so that more people can get in tune with this information. So that's just the first letter that we're going to send out. That's the affidavit of truth. The next one, and that you guys could play around with ChatGPT. Have ChatGPT help you change up some things and make it more fit to your guys' story, your situation. But definitely use the language that I did use, to start it out. Definitely putting them on notice and letting it be known that you know who you are, throughout this transaction above all else. The next thing that we're going to draft up is going to be, and a lot of people are like, yo, I don't know what to draft up for a pre-arbitration letter. So drop a 3 in the chat box if you've never drafted up a pre-arbitration letter. I'm going to help show you guys how to draft up a pre-arbitration letter here on today's call. But, first step before we got some 3s. Nina Sky dropping 3s. Drop a 3. It's okay if you have or have not. But I definitely want to see where are all my people at, that don't know what to do when it comes to sending out this third-party debt collect or this pre-arbitration. Okay, so lots of 3s. So before we do that, we're going to come here to ChatGPT and we're going to go ahead and type in a notice of dispute. So I'm going to type in here, draft me up a notice of dispute. This Draft me up a notice of dispute. This notice of dispute is going to put the financial institution and dealership on notice of the misuse of my credit, which is a violation of TILA 15 USC 1601. They used my credit card as They used my credit card as defined in 15 USC 1602L along Okay, so I put draft me up a notice of dispute. This notice of dispute is going to put the financial institution and dealership on notice of the misuse of my credit, which is a violation of TILA 15 USC 1601. They use my credit card as defined in 15 USC 1602L, which has an open-end credit plan. I want to make it clear that I'm aware they've been credited. So I stated, I want to make it clear that I'm aware that they've been credited. Furthermore, they've used unfair and inaccurate credit reporting methods of these accounts to my consumer report, and I demand a cease and desist of all illegal All right, so this is what I'm putting in the chat GPT. Drop a 3 in the chat if you guys are looking to get some clarity on the next steps to take for this pre-arbitration letter. So before we even send the pre-arbitration, before we talk anything about arbitration, before we use the agreement, we're gonna send out a notice of dispute. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a little view here in the Tokyo airport. Yes, we're here in Tokyo. I'm about to head out. Is this my airlines? Eva Air, yes. Okay. I'm about to go check in here soon. So I told it, draft me up a notice of dispute. This notice of dispute is going to be put the financial institution and the dealership on notice of the misuse of my credit, which is a violation of TILA 15 USC 1601. They use my credit card as defined in 15 USC 1602L, which has an open-end credit plan. I want to make it clear that I'm aware that they have been credited. Furthermore, they have used unfair and inaccurate credit reporting methods of these accounts to my consumer report, and I demand a cease and desist of all illegal activity in terms of mediums of communication, and that including my consumer report. So I just drafted that up. Oh, my foot fell asleep. But I drafted that up here in the letter. I'm trying to sit y'all up. Okay, it's not gonna work. But just like that, in the matter of literally seconds, I drafted up a notice of dispute. So I'm not sitting here for hours and hours drafting something up, typing up a letter. I literally, here at the airport, drafted up a notice of dispute on this live, teaching you guys, educating you guys. Every single one of you guys tuned in, just learn how to draft up a notice of dispute. So now when I talk about draft up a notice of dispute, you guys see how simple that is. Those are the first steps we got to do. With the notice of dispute, yes, I can send out my affidavit of truth with that as well too. Those are going to be the first steps, and I'm going to send out 2 forms of identification. I'm going to send in a copy of my passport and a copy of my credit card, my social security number, right? Once I've sent those 2, so that's round 1, that's pack number 1 that I always tell you guys, that's the notice of dispute, that's the affidavit of facts, the affidavit of truth. My foot's falling asleep, I gotta sit down. Now, after I've done that, what are the next steps? back foot, man. All right, we're gonna keep y'all here. For everybody that's in the public channel, I'm going to drop this letter for you guys. Just a notice of dispute.
May I have your attention, please? This is Singapore Airlines basic passengers. Mr. E.
I'm gonna drop this in the main chat in the Discord.
Departing of Singapore Airlines flight SQ631 service to Singapore. Please proceed to the counter and the departure floor. Thank you.
Sì, ma ancora no, penso. Non era marino se ti dai.
ANA からご案内いたします。ANA 青島行き
All right, perfect. I'm just seeing your messages here in the Discord right now too, James.
まもなく搭乗手続きを終了いたします。
Let me know if you've been able to complete the Start Here tab in the Discord.
お急ぎ ANA 搭乗手続きカウンターまでお越しください。
I'll tag you in it right now again.
May I have your attention, please?
Let me know if you were able to go through that slideshow, the PowerPoint that we have within there, the Billionaires Club Mentorship Guide. We did release and launch a new video for that. I haven't uploaded it yet though.
We kindly ask those passengers who have not yet checked in for this flight to proceed to ANA check-in counter.
And also as well too, if there's anybody we haven't gotten back to, if there's anybody that's looking to schedule a call, if there's anybody looking to get in tune with anything, if anybody a part of the university that is having some trouble with the login, anybody a part of the mentorship, needing some clarity on some things, now's the perfect time. I'll be the first to tell you. I wouldn't say now specifically today or tomorrow, but specifically, Thursday going forward, Wednesday or Thursday going forward, because I'm going to be in the Philippines with my assistants at the office, literally working all day, from sunup to sundown. We're going to be launching a lot of different things, putting together a lot of different things, putting our heads together. And so y'all going to find me in the office, and I'm going to be streaming just about all day, every day, showing you guys, behind the scenes. If you guys are part of the mob, y'all will get more of the behind the scenes, more of the live streams of the things that we're going to be doing at the office, more of the trainings, the teachings I'm going to be teaching them. So I definitely do recommend, bare minimum, you join the mob. The mob is our, top membership level here on YouTube. And, for everybody that is a part of the mob, y'all are going to reap all the benefits, and more, being a part of the community while I'm out here in the Philippines. I'm gonna make sure to go live every day for the mob, and I'll have my assistants hold me to that.
To Manila.
All right, so
Will
let
be
me see.
closed in a few minutes. We kindly ask those passengers who have not yet checked in for this flight to proceed to ANA check-in counter immediately. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to Taiwan. So that's the notice of dispute letter. A lot of people don't know what to put for a pre-arbitration letter. So what I want everybody to do, let's come here to adr.org. Let's do it together. All right, adr.org. adr.org. Pull it up right here with me. If you guys are just tuning in, let's continue to get the likes up. This right here is American Arbitration Association, and this is where I go through to find, I'll come here, click on it. I'll come here and click on consumer. So I'm gonna find this is the sauce right here, every single arbitration agreement. We scroll down to view registered arbitration clause. It's gonna pop up a screen that's gonna have you enter all of your information. We're gonna click the bottom left one. Put in basic information. All right, first name. Boom. Last name. Okay, then you agree. And you select next. Are you honestly could put anything? That's clearly not my email, name, or a city. A bank that many people are dealing with, Santander. So we'll come here, we'll type in Santander. and what's going to do? Pull up their arbitration agreement. So if you guys don't have the arbitration agreement on hand, which you guys all should, it's through your auto loan agreements, right? And through there is also the truth in lending disclosure. I'll show you guys that here in a second, but the truth in lending disclosure is going to show you guys how everything's already been credited, right? This right here is going to pull up if there's any claims, anything we don't agree with, anything that was withheld from us, anything that they did not disclose to us, right? Y'all were talking about the insurance earlier as well too, right? Insurance, you know, what they state. SR22 states that they said FTC said it has to be in all consumer credit contracts. If it's not, and the FTC is telling you that, you know, there are certain things that they withheld that they did not disclose through the agreement, that they deceived you with through the agreement, which you guys could then put that into your guys' letters. And that's the thing, that's where I, you know, what I'm getting at with everybody's situation is completely different. So this is what a lot of times your agreement with Santander will look like. You know, and there's going to be a section that's going to mention arbitration. So let me just read this to you guys. Okay, arbitration. As additional consideration for Santander's agreement to modify the terms of your contract as set forth and above and forbear from exercising its remedies on the contract, you and Santander agree that upon written request by either party that is submitted according to the rules of for arbitration, any claim except those specified below shall be resolved by binding arbitration. All right, so you got to do it through writing though. You can't tell them over the phone, I'm going to take you through arbitration. Not, you know, through an online complaint. Yes, the online complaints will help, and those are things that actually we do. Is we'll, through the Better Business Bureau, we'll oftentimes send them the notice of dispute, and then we'll send them a pre-arbitration. From the pre-arbitration, we'll send them out a real pre-arbitration via mail as well too. But whenever we do send them a pre-arbitration via mail, we do tend to do an online complaint as well too, just so we know that they did receive it via mail and online as well too. But it states if there's any claims, anything that wants to be fixed, anything you're looking to get fixed, that can be, and that should be binded by arbitration. Right, that should be binded by arbitration.
Ask those passengers who have not yet checked in for this flight to proceed to ANA check-in counter immediately.
Okay, for me, so I wanted to show you guys this. If you guys don't have it, pull it up, download it through adr.org, and you guys will get that agreement. Now let's see, family. So you can use truth in lending and FCRA in different laws in the affidavit. Yes. You know, with the affidavits, though, I like to keep it really within 1 to 2 subchapters. So as you'll see, the last one I just used the FCRA and the FDCPA. You know, so I don't like to use more than 2 subchapters with the affidavit of truth. Granted, you're, you know, more than able to do so, but, you know, I like to keep it within that 2. So if it's, you know, your privacy's been invaded heavily and you've noticed that, I would definitely use the FDCPA and the Graham-Leach-Bailey Act. I love all the questions. Keep the questions coming. Shout out Quintana. Shout out my guy James, Nina Sky, my healthy, wealthy life. Yes, so my healthy, wealthy life, if you have paid off the car, I want you to look into this law specifically. So for those that have already paid off the finance charge or paid off the, you know, the loan, I want you guys to look into 15 USC 1692. One sec.
May I have your attention, please? Check in for ANA flight 9.
And I want you to look into 15 USC 1692H, and it states, if any consumer owes multiple debts and makes any single payment to any debt collectors with respect to such debt collectors may not apply such payment to any debt which is disputed by the consumer, and where applicable, shall apply such payment in accordance with the consumer's direction. So, you know, I'm going to state that one more time. This may have gone over a couple of your guys' head. Maybe the background noise y'all can't hear. So I'm gonna let this settle down real quick. I really want y'all to hear me out with this one. So this is 15 USC 1692H. This is multiple debts. And so if any consumer owes multiple debts and makes any single payments to any debt collector, all right, remember the term debt collector and whom are and what is a debt collector. With respects to such debt collector may not apply such payment to any debt which is disputed by the consumer and where applicable shall apply such payment in accordance with the consumer's direction. That's how powerful you are. I want y'all to drop in the comment section if that makes sense. Self-love, because that's, what we're teaching, and, that's what I'm here to show you guys. It's simply the power, the divinity that's within each and every single one of us. And the more that we love ourselves, the more that we have to offer to the world, the more love that we have to give to everybody. So now let me go ahead and let's pull up this pre-arbitration. So I'm going to type this up as well too here in ChatGPT.
バーガルーナギネシア航空よりご案内申し上げます。ただいまよりガルーナギネシア航空875便、日本航空5011便、ANA5481 便と書かれた行きのお搭乗手続きを受けてまいります。当便にてご出発のお客様は3階 L カウンターまでお越しください。今日もスカイチームメンバーガルーナギネシア航空をご利用くださいましてありがとうございます。Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Garuda Indonesia. A member of SkyTeam Alliance with flight 825.
All right, family. So I had to draft me up another pre-arbitration. This one's going to be for third-party debt collectors. A lot of people will have a repo. They'll sell this debt to a third-party debt collector, and a lot of times this third-party debt collector will attempt to come collect it. So these are for those people now. So let it be known in the comments. Section 40 is for those that are dealing with pre-arb or third-party debt collectors with their auto loan. So I state, I'm writing to formally dispute the alleged debt that you have asserted against me, which has been properly purchased from the original creditor. It's come to my attention that my Oh, not properly, perpetratedly. So which has been perpetratedly purchased from the original creditor. So you can do perpetratedly, or you can do, without my consent, purchased, or without permissible purpose, purchased from the original creditor. It's come to my attention that by acquiring this debt, you're now subject to the arbitration agreement outlined in the original creditor's agreement. So letting it be known, you're now subject to it. I'm well aware that the mere initiation of arbitration proceedings will incur substantial costs on your end, far exceeding the nominal amount for which you obtained this debt. As per the arbitration agreement, these costs include, but are not limited to, the filing fees of both parties, arbitration initiation fees, arbitration deposit, and any legal costs incurred throughout the arbitration process, as stated on the ADR.org website. These expenses are significant and can amount to tens of thousands of dollars. In light of this, I'm granting you one opportunity to settle this matter amicably, and I demand the following: a payment of $6,000 to compensate for the mental distress. Drop a, share this share this live if y'all are looking to get remedy, not only get deletion, but looking to get remedy as well too. Share this with 3 people. That's what I'm here to show you guys. Not only how to get these accounts deleted, because yes, there's a lot of that on the internet, especially with more people getting in tune with consumer law. But I'm here to show those that are hip and are in tune with consumer law not only how to get the deletions, but how to go get the remedy as well too. How to get paid for quote unquote bad credit as well too. There's so much out there of people showing you with good credit how to sequence it, how to structure your credit report to be able to go acquire, maximum funding. Well, I'm here to let you guys know if your consumer report has been taken advantage of, if it's been in violation, that you guys have remedy and reparations owed to you guys. So it's time to go out and go get that remedy. All right, so I'm talking about a payment of $6,000 to compensate for the mental distress, anxiety, emotional distress, and financial hardship inflicted upon me by the pursuit of this alleged debt. Number 2, a deletion of this trading from any reporting agency to which it's been reported. Failure to comply will result in the invocation of the arbitration agreement, wherein you will be responsible for covering all the associated fees and costs as outlined above. This course of action will undoubtedly prove to be financially burdensome for your company. Right? I'm not talking about, oh, you guys are in clear violation of this subchapter. It's going to financially, affect them, and I'm letting that be known very clear. I urge you to consider this offer seriously and to respond promptly with your decision. I am open to resolving this matter expeditiously and without further escalation. All right, clearly I can't read. I don't know that word, but definitely looking to get it done rapid. Done in a timely manner. And then you simply autograph it. When you guys do autograph anything, it's always first name hyphen, middle name, full colon, last name, period, UCC 1-308, and the UCC 1-308. It's reserving all of your rights. All rights reserved without prejudice. So that's the pre-arbitration letter to a third-party debt collector. The one that we're going to draft it to an original creditor is going to be the same thing, without obviously the first part where I let it be known that, because of you guys buying the debt from the original creditor for pennies on dollar, you guys are going to be held, liable. Now I'm just letting it be known for the wrongdoing, for the misuse of one's credit, for the deceptive practices, I'd use a lot of the terminology within the FDCPA, as well as the FCRA, because oftentimes if you're dealing with the financial institution, it's already been reported, or they've already attempted to collect some type of payment from you guys. So that then makes them, that aligns them with the term debt collector. As the term debt collector, we know is any person, operating through interstate commerce, attempting to collect any alleged debt. All right, so that's the pre-arbitration letter. I just went over the notice of dispute. With the pre-arbitration letter, we are going to, with the ADR.org website, print out that arbitration agreement. We're going to send in the arbitration agreement with the pre-arbitration letter. I'd send in another copy of that affidavit of truth as well too. The affidavit of truth will help you guys tremendously. So affidavit of truth, pre-arbitration with the arbitration agreement. Go to invoicegenerator.com. Right, we did just demand remedy. We did just demand, compensation for damages that did just incur. So now from there, the next steps that I'm going to take, fam, is I'm going to take sending in an invoice. Just like they invoice you guys, we want to be invoicing them, as well, family. So I'll go to invoicegenerator.com, and on invoicegenerator.com, that'll allow me to draft up an invoice. And with the second packet, the packet that I just broke down, the pre-arbitration, right, the affidavit of truth with the arbitration agreement, I'm also going to send in this invoice as well too, family. So second packet is going to be a little more. I'll send in a copy of my credit card, and and that could be your social, and that could be your passport if you guys don't have the non-citizen national passport card, which I do advise you guys all looking into acquiring, so that you guys all are able to operate out of the jurisdiction of the United States, and you guys are not held applicable once again under their jurisdiction. And that's just the power of the non-citizen national passport card, is you're simply not doing business in their jurisdiction, right? You're not doing business within the corporation, and you make it clear that you don't reside within that corporation, and you're not a citizen of that corporation. But if you fill it out any other way, you are property of that corporation, and they have complete jurisdiction over you. So it's vital to fill out that non-citizen national passport card properly, so that you guys can be out of their jurisdiction. But that's just for those that are looking to secure their rights more, and looking to take the steps of becoming and operating in the private, but becoming a secure party creditor. But in order to become a secure party creditor, you definitely got to have this non-citizen national passport card on hand. I've heard a lot of this status change. I've heard a lot of this. I've been around it now for a couple of years. I've heard a lot, seen a lot. Biggest thing above all else is getting that non-citizen national passport card. And it's very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. It's very simple. If you guys are looking to learn how to do it, you guys could either pay $250 for my document, or you guys could join YBC University for $97. Get access to that, along with more insight on how to get remedy, more insight on the teachings that I went over today with you guys. Not only just for auto loans, I'm talking about student loans, I'm talking about bankruptcies, or we're talking about any account removed from your guys' consumer reports, that we can go ahead and make happen. Yeah, of course. Ugh. Here you go, brother. Yeah, of course. All right, though, family. So that's everything for today. Went over a lot of great information, a lot of insightful information, to be able to help you guys get rid of those auto loans, right? A lot of people are, in these auto loans looking to get out of these contracts, but don't know how. I believe that we definitely went over the steps to be able to do so. Now it's simply time to execute. Bro, I need to get up with you. Let's do it right now, brother. Any questions, feel free to ask. Just go ahead and ask on this live. I'll stay here for about another 10-15 minutes. Any questions, I'll go ahead and answer back and forth with you guys. But above all else, when it comes to, so those are the steps we'll take, and then from there, if they're not still willing to comply, we'll take them through adr.org. You guys can go to and file online for within 5 to 10 minutes on adr.org. There's a button that will say fast file. You guys can literally click that, and in 5 to 10 minutes, you guys can file arbitration. Let's see. Aside from that, they have a website, or they have a whole PDF. All right. On their website, adr.org, go to the consumer section, figure out how to file. They also have an address where you guys can send to the American Arbitration Association to pay for the filing fee, which is $225, along with filing arbitration and your statement. They have the paperwork that is required to submit your filing or your form to file arbitration. Very simple. A lot of the language we're going to use within there is the same language that we're using here on this live in these letters. You don't got to throw out a million different laws and codes. Have you been deceived? Has your credit been misused? And they talk and put a lot of emphasis upon unfair and inaccurate, reporting. The thing is, what a lot of people and consumers aren't aware of is that we as consumers define what's inaccurate. We define what's unfair. And we're the only ones who were present throughout the transaction, so that's why we're the only ones who can, define what's unfair and what's inaccurate, and that's why Congress and the FCRA leaves it up to us to define, and that's why it's not a declaration of purpose, but it's a statement of purpose in the FCRA. And the reason as to why is because Congress leaves it up to us, the consumers, to go out and investigate what is factual and what is evidence to, find the declaration and ultimately create it. Just like the FDCPA and Truth in Lending, it's a declaration of purpose. Well, the FCRA is only a statement of purpose. The terminology, and this is what I'm referring to break it down in layman terms for you guys, the terminology used in the congressional findings of the FCRA, they mention right away the banking system is dependent upon fair and accurate credit reporting. So if something is dependent upon something, that means it cannot live without it. If I'm dependent upon water and air, I cannot go without water and air. If a baby is dependent upon its mother's breast milk, it cannot go without its mother's breast milk. So the term dependent upon means that without fair and accurate credit reporting, there is no banking system. But the thing is, it's a statement of purpose. So you define what's fair, you define what's accurate, and that's how powerful you are, family. Any questions though? Any questions while we're waiting here? Pill Cosby, I see, that you had a question, you were looking to get up with me. Feel free to ask a question here on this live. If you're looking for a more personal question, simply text 305-575-2843, and me and my team will be able to get back to you guys and get a hold of you guys. So I'll say that number one more time, 305-575-2843. And that's for me or one of my team members to reach out to you guys, help you guys with any of your guys' processes, steps. What will help going, while you're in communication with us is you guys going out and sending back the information that we'll send to you to get that credit report, so we're able to review your report, what's on it, and how we can go forward. Okay, bet. I'm building business credit and wanted to know how to do more. How do you remove inquiries on the business side? Also, I got denied. So the thing on the business credit side, don't get caught up on the inquiries. It doesn't matter how many inquiries you do have with business credit. You can have 1 million business credit inquiries, and that doesn't matter at all. Then the lenders are not going based off of how many inquiries you have on the business credit side. Let me scoot this over so bro can be more comfortable. Also, I got denied for a vehicle. I enforced my rights, but I need to get the litigation process. Okay, so you went into the dealership, you applied for the dealership, and what were the next steps that you took? Did you ever get an adverse action letter? Did you send them an adverse action letter? What were the steps that you took after you've been denied? And what do you have to show for you being denied? Those are my questions for you. We live right now on YouTube. We got 11 tuned in. We've been live here for 55 minutes. Simply waiting for the next flight out of here. We're about to be headed to Taiwan for one more layover before we go hit the Philippines. So I was like, yo, let's come here to, on YouTube, talk to my people, check in with them, let them know everything that, we've got up our sleeve going to the Philippines. About to be able to work more hands-on with my assistants out there. We have an office out there. I've expressed that to you guys here on the live. And everybody that's been in tune with our movement for some time. So that's been a blessing, the biggest blessing. They've been able to help me, help you guys get quicker results, more results, etc. So, the next month I'm going to be in person with them, really systematizing more things, helping them get more in tune with getting on phone calls with you guys, answering and handling any objectives, so super excited for what's to come out of this. If there's anything that you guys are seeking more from what we can provide, how we can help you guys, definitely feel free to text us at 305-575-2843. But we're just here right now in Taiwan, or not in Taiwan. We're in Tokyo still, headed to Taiwan, before we go hit the Philippines. On the way back from the Philippines, we will enjoy our time here in Tokyo, but before we have the fun, we got to get some work done, man. Before we have the fun, we got to get some work done. That's a bar. All right, though, family. Peace and love. We vlogging. I got so many vlogs that I haven't dropped for y'all, man. It's kind of sad. I'm gonna drop them all. Believe that. My guy Q Smith tuned in. Self-love is the best love. You know it. My healthy, wealthy life. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out Nina Sky. Hopefully all of you guys are as well too in the Discord. That we have a public Discord, completely free, open to the public. We cover and talk a lot about all of this information in here as well too. Hey man, do you want me to send you my report or just keep doing? No, send me your report as well too. We definitely do want to make sure we have that on hand. Because on top of everything, James, me and my team, we're going to send out disputes for you as well too. So everything you're doing, we're also going to send out disputes on top of that as well. And we'll be in communication with you, letting you know. So let me text you specifically in the form, in the order that we need your information. Okay, let's see. My guy James is applying for his non-citizen national passport card on Wednesday. I love to hear it. Say, bro. Okay. Hey, man, do you want me to send you my... Okay, yes, in the report. I made a complaint to the CFPB, the Better Business Bureau, the OCC, Attorney General, and sent the adverse action and affidavit of truth. This was from back in November. Okay, perfect, Pill Cosby. So my question for you, family, is what are the responses that you're getting? What have they been telling you? It's one thing that you sent off those things, but have you been getting responses? Are we sending it to the right place? Like, what are they communicating back to us? And also, it's been reported on your consumer report as an inquiry. Correct me if I'm wrong, because if it has, we'll also do these steps with whatever reporting agency is reporting this. So if Equifax is reporting that account, an inquiry account, we're going to hold them, subject to arbitration, and we're going to let them know for the inaccurate reporting and them reporting this report and account on your consumer report without you receiving any benefit. I want y'all all to go look into 15 USC, and this will help you guys tremendously with inquiries with any account in general that you guys don't want on your consumer report. 15 USC 1602. All right, and we're going to scroll down here together. And there's a term, unauthorized use. It's P, 15 USC 1602P. And it means a use of a credit card by a person other than the cardholder. All right, remember, we're the cardholder. Other than the cardholder, who does not have actual, implied, or apparent authority for such use, and from which the cardholder receives no benefit. What benefit do you guys receive from you guys getting an inquiry but not getting the actual auto loan, or an inquiry but not actually getting any type of line of credit? When a finance charge arose, if there's an inquiry, that means a finance charge arose. That means a transaction took place. An inquiry is a receipt of a transaction, I've always said. So if there's a receipt of a transaction took place, in order for there to be a transaction, somebody's had to have gotten paid. So somebody did get credited. Every time our credit card is ran, there is a finance charge that does arise, and a consumer credit transaction was created, but yet we receive no benefit. I don't want you to believe anything I'm telling you guys. I want you guys all to go look it up for yourself, get familiar with this. Since then, I've removed the inquiries from my file, but I have an old report with them on it. Also, they just told, so if you got that old report with it on, with them on, and now you got it off, that's even more ammunition to go against the consumer reporting agencies, so you could get that remedy as well. Also, they just told me no and sent me another. Okay, so let's do this. My guy Cosby World Service, send their responses in the public chat in the Discord, and I'll get back to you, brother, in the public Discord. I'm gonna be traveling, for the next 24 hours. So for the next day, I'll be traveling. So just get me over that information, the responses via Discord in the public channel. All right, don't DM me it in the public channel. I want this to be a lesson where everybody can go learn from. And then I'll help you exactly what to state with the response and everything going forward. So that's everything for me today, family. We've been here for an hour. I do need to go check in. We do head out of here soon. Don't want to miss this flight, so I'll see you all at the top. Y'all know why, man. It's the bottom. It's way too crowded. Peace and love from Tokyo. We out.